so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you so much.
And you think all of a sudden that you'll be the one to change it. Every Igbo elite should wake up. The more you continue to sleep, the more you continue to destroy yourself. What wrong will have Chimamanda done? Nothing. There's nothing wrong that she had done. In her speech, go and read the speech from A to Z. Her statement was very, very neutral. She neither supported Mr. A or Mr. B. She just said the word the way it is. But simply because she's Igbo Biafran, all hell break loose. They came on her. They're attacking her, calling her all sorts of names. Mannerless and idiots that have no place in this world, calling her all manner of names. But that is what you get when you are not fighting for the right thing. All these are signs to tell you that as long as you are a Biafran, mainly the Igbo Biafran, you have no place in that country of Nigeria. You might be recognized around the world. You might be recognized in the whole world. The whole world might give you a award and whatever. But when it comes to Nigeria, you are nobody. You are not wanted. In fact, they will trash you and take your life if care is not taken. This is what Chimamanda is facing now. But I wish that Chimamanda can realize that she is a Biafran and cannot be a Nigerian. When I see them come on the national TV and say that, begin to claim, I am a Nigerian and I will speak for Nigeria. How dare you say you are a Nigerian and you speak for Nigeria? You can't speak for Nigeria and you are not a Nigerian. You can continue to claim to be a Nigerian for donkey. You are not. And why we are saying these words is for us to secure them. These are our own people. We want to keep them safe. The only thing that can give you respect, dignity, and safety is Biafra, nothing else. Nothing else. It's only Biafra that can give you safety. So I wish that she can use that her talent of writing and write to Biden about the plight of the Biafran people. She cannot tell me that she's not seeing what is happening in Biafra land. Chimamanda is seeing and hearing about the burning of houses by the military in Biafra land. She is seeing the dehumanization of Biafran people. She can hear it, she can see it happening because she's in Nigeria. She can see the way the military are burning houses in Imo State, to be precise, destroying houses of Biafran people for no just cause, destroying their properties and businesses for no just cause. I wish that she can use her talent of writing and write about things that matters and forget about election that you are not part of. Why I don't know why it is difficult for them to understand. I don't know why these people who claim to be educated are so scared of doing the right thing, so scared of doing the right thing. Are you telling me that the plight of that Chimamanda is not seeing the plight of the Biafran people? Are you telling me that she's not hearing or seeing the death that is happening in Biafran land? Are you telling me that when she's coming back home, she doesn't pass numerous checkpoints, unnecessary checkpoints that have been placed on the road? The burning of houses and properties of Biafran people and the loss of life, is she not seeing it? How many times has she written about that? This is something that concerns her and her unborn generation. This is who she is, a Biafran. But why is she not writing to the world about the plight of the Biafran people? And join for the call for referendum. Join in the call for referendum. Let the people decide where they want to be. After this very sham 2023 election, why should any sensible person continue to talk about Nigeria? Why should any sensible person continue to talk about Nigeria after seeing what transpired in this 2023 election? It is so sad. And look at how all of them are going down. Before you know it, Chimamanda will be arrested or she'll go exile. I had Obi Kubana, or whatever they call him, he's already in trouble. These are people who cannot open their mouth. Even secretly, support secretly, you will not support secretly. Openly, you will not support openly. Instead, you project yourself a Nigerian, even when you know you are not. Even when they tell you to your face that you are not. What else do you want to hear? You that is from the old Southeastern region, more especially people, the Igbo Biafrans. If you are from the old Southeastern region, mostly the Igbo Biafrans, why must you continue to force yourself in a marriage that you're not wanted? They have told you to your face, you should not participate. You came to vote, they tell you you cannot vote. You are not a Nigerian. They told you to your face, you cannot vote. You're not a Nigerian. Even when you force yourself and vote and vote and vote, they say you can't be the president. You're not a Nigerian. You can't be a foreigner and then you become the president of Nigeria. And you blame them? I don't blame them because I don't blame them. It's just like the London boy, Peter Obi, who is going to court. He's wasting his time. He's wasting his time. The truth remains that he's not a Nigerian and he cannot be the president of a country where you are not from. He's not a Nigerian. Your own nation is under occupation and you are a slave. As long as you continue to be, you're not a slave. And there's no way you can become a president in another man's land. Even the citizenship they're not giving you. You're not even third class citizen. If you are a first class citizen, you can be a president, but you are not even a third class citizen and you want to be a president of a country. In Africa, you are a dreamer. You are a dreamer. Keep on dreaming. The earlier you wake up, the better. And as if that is not enough, when we are talking about the evil, and the people that planted this evil, which is British, how the British concocted this very contraption that is killing the whole indigenous people today. People don't believe it. When we say that the British, they are the one of the world, those holding us captive, people don't believe it. I just read in one of the tweets of our spokesperson how the London boy, P2B, was detained, delayed, detained, not even they detained in London when he traveled to London just last week. When he went to London last week, he was detained at the airport. This is a presidential candidate who has gone to the Chatham House to speak. Nobody in London will say that he doesn't know P2B. Even before them, P2B has been in London as an law-abiding citizen, ever before he began to contest for election. And this election, there is no country in this planet Earth now that will say they don't know who P2B is. But this same man was detained in London when he traveled last week for a flimsy excuse. Not until people begin to protest, not until when some people around began to protest, that why must you be treating him in that form before he was left. That should ring a bell in your ear. That should ring a bell. And yet, with all this is happening, they do not learn lesson. Mazen Nani cannot ask, how many times how many times will something happen to you before you learn your lesson? How many? How many times? Today they are forcing that London boy to go exile. They are forcing P2B to go exile, planning all different manner of ways to trap him down. How can you ever imagine that somebody, a presidential candidate, top presidential candidate in the Zoological Republic, who has gone to Chatham House to issue a speech, somebody that the whole world, as long as you have access to internet, you cannot tell me you don't know Peter Obi. And this man was delayed, detained in Heathrow Airport in London. He was detained for hours, questioned in Heathrow Airport. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And yet, he cannot wake up. And yet, he pretends that all is well. And yet, he didn't even want to speak. It was someone else that voiced out to tell the world what is happening. He was even so ashamed and scared to talk about it. It was somebody who he confided in was the person that came out to talk about it, the way he was treated. Just last week in London. This is somebody who wants to be the president of the contraption called Nigeria. When we talk about these people, they are the ones holding the indigenous people captive. You wouldn't believe it. Both United States and UK, they are in it together. Both of them, they are in it together. Look at the letter that Chimamanda wrote. Do anybody need to remind the United States that that election was flawed? Do United States need anybody to remind them that that election was flawed? They know very well. They had all the information. They have all the details. In fact, they know the fact who won the election. And yet, someone else was rigged into the very post. With all the malpractices and fraud that happened, they came and they sent the congratulatory message to the winner of the election. And the next day, you turn around and begin to say the country is corrupt. The next minute, you turn around and begin to talk about democracy when you are the one supporting the destruction of democracy in Africa. You are the ones supporting. Every government that is undemocratic is being supported by the West. Pioneered, sponsored, and supported by the West. Every undemocratic government in Africa, supported by the West. And when you fail to fall to their trap, when you fail to abide with them, they will tag you a tyrant. They give you a name and they take you out. Just what they did to Gaddafi. Mama Gaddafi, who was running the affairs of his country perfectly well, leading his own people, knowing the kind of people he has, knowing the kind of religion they have. The only alternative is what he was giving them that was the only thing they can be able to understand. Gaddafi was speaking the language that his own people understand. The kind of leadership they understand, that was what he was giving to them. And many people have testified to the kind of life that was in Libya before the death of Gaddafi, which I myself can testify about. And I bet you, Libya can never, ever, ever, ever in their history get that kind of a life again. Only in their dreams. They can never get that kind of wonderful life again. Only in their dreams. The West don't mean well for any one of us. That is why we have to take our fate in our hand. And Biafra is taking the lead. Biafra is going to liberate Africa. That is why our struggle is not just for Biafrans alone. It's not just for Biafrans alone. It is for the whole of Africa. It is for every indigenous tribe in that contraption. If you care about your life, if you really want to succeed, you must have to key in. Every single word we are saying, everything we are speaking is for the benefit of everybody in that contraption. For the benefit of everybody. If you want to succeed, you must key in. If you want to succeed, you must key in if you want to succeed. Apart from that, you can never. The only thing that will set Africa free, the only thing that will set every indigenous tribe free in Nigeria is the actualization of Biafra. And I have said it before, when you see the caliphate, when you see the Nigerian government attacking the Igbo Biafrans, some of you get blinded. You think it's just about the Igbo Biafrans. Injustice against one is injustice against all. When they attack the Igbo Biafrans, you think it is about the Igbo Biafrans. They will even use you to fight against the Biafrans, knowing fully well that the only formidable force that they are scared of today in that contraption is the Igbo Biafrans. It is because of the Igbo Biafrans. That is why you still see Nigeria the way it is today. If not, Nigeria would have been taken over long ago. Nigeria would have been taken over long time ago. The only people that they are scared of is the Igbo Biafrans. That is why when you see here, when you listen closely on that leaked audio from Shetima and Kunle, you heard him say it. You heard the confession of Shetima. From beginning of that discussion to the end, the only fear he has is the Biafran people. They are trying everything possible to make sure that they dismiss Biafran. As soon as they overcome Biafran, it's just the same as overcoming the whole of the entirety of Nigeria. And that is why the Biafrans, I don't know, Chukwu Okike Abịama know why he placed them on that very point. And at every particular point in time, he brings a leader to keep us forward and continue to move on to get out. We must not relent in our effort. We are fighting the just cause. And every other indigenous tribe should wake up. Stop sleeping. It is not just about the Biafrans alone. It is not just about the Igbo Biafran alone. It is about you. This rain that is going to fall, when it falls, it is going to affect every one of you. The only thing that can grant the people security is the disintegration of the Zoological Republic. But when we say it, some people think it's just about, it is not just about the Biafra. I can tell you, the Biafrans are still even more protected today than every one of you. The Biafrans are still more protected today than every one of you. They are richer than every one of you, more populated than everyone. Everything you can think of, the Biafrans have it better than any other tribe in that contraption. Take it to the bank. This is the truth. And they are the ones that have faced the most difficult situation. There is no situation that the Biafran people have not faced, and they survived it. Every other tribe in that country of Nigeria, if they face 1/4 of what Biafran people have faced, they will never survive it. They can never, ever survive what Biafran people have survived. 1/4 of it, they will not survive it. So when you see Biafrans fighting, taking the front row to liberate everybody, you must thank your star. Don't fight them. Put your hand on deck and begin to work on how to set yourself free from the contraption called Nigeria. Biafrans are not your enemy. Any place you're coming from as an indigenous person in Nigeria, Biafrans are not your enemy. We know whom the enemy are. The enemy we have in that contraption is a foreigner. They are foreign. The Fulanis, they are not Nigerians. They are visitors. The British, they are visitors. The Americans, they are visitors. These are the enemies we have, sponsoring one propaganda or the other against the indigenous people. And some of the indigenous people foolishly fall a victim to those propaganda. And they begin to preach it and go along with it. And before you know it, everything gets bad. But those of us who are Biafrans, we know whom we are. Even though there are some of our brothers who have lost their senses, but we are going to beat back their senses into order. That is why my spokesperson and the new Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile said that he will catapult you into Biafra. He will abakaleke you into Biafra, whether you like it or not. Our spokesperson, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the new Prime Minister of Biafra in exile, said it, that he would drag every one of you into Biafra, whether you like it or not. We will not leave anybody behind. Those who call themselves elite, that their brain is locked. Even when Chukwu have brought revelations to open their brain, Chukwu have many things happen. In this election, they tell you to your face, you can't vote because you are not a Nigerian. They tell you to your face, you can't be a president because you are not a Nigerian. And yet, you are forcing yourself, dragging, painting walls. I thank Chukwu who made it possible that those of us autopiloted, we are tutored under Mazen Nandekano. Mazen Nandekano, the supreme leader of the struggle, the supreme leader of IPOB, Mazen Nandekano, wherever he is, may Chukwu Okekabima continue to guide and protect him. He tutored every one of us. And we know the truth. And that truth today is keeping us. And there's no amount of lie or propaganda that will change us from what we know. We know where we come from. We know that we are freeborn. We are not slaves and can never be. We have never been and will never ever be slaves. Even our grandparents who were taken to the United States for slavery, they rejected slavery and instead they prefer to die. The history is there. So how do you think that in this generation that we accept slavery? How dare you think that in this generation that Biafrans will accept slavery? We will not accept slavery. We know whom we are. And we are going to recover every inch of Biafra land, inch by inch, block by block, village by village, local government by local government, state by state. Every corner of Biafra will be recovered. It doesn't matter what you think or what you say. It doesn't matter whether you want to support or you don't want to support. It doesn't matter whether you key in or don't key in. Chukwu Okekabia have given the word. He has spoken and he told us to move. And we are moving. The only responsibility on our shoulder today is to make sure that everybody is carried along. And that is what we are doing. If you are a Biafra, pay attention to what matters. Begin to think of what you can offer to your nation, Biafra. Begin to think of how you can be able to activate what you're going to do to make sure that Biafra becomes a reality, because that is where your hope lies. That is where you can be defended. That is the only hope you have on the planet Earth today, Biafra. We must begin to think fast and think what we are going to do. This is not time for blackmail and propaganda. Your brother, your sister is not the enemy. They will tell you that Biafrans hate themselves. Biafrans don't want themselves. They lie from the pit of hell. I can tell you, there is no indigenous people in that contraption that love themselves like Biafrans. More especially even Igbo Biafrans. There's no tribe in that contraption that love themselves the way the Igbo Biafrans love themselves. Take it to the bank. There is no tribe anywhere that love themselves, genuine love. I'm not talking about pretended, genuine love. Don't come and preach lies of maybe because one or two people who have difficulties or misunderstandings, now you paint everybody to be that evil. That is not, it's a lie. When you check the average, how people support each other, how communities develop themselves, how people support each other. When you check the average, there is no one that can be compared to what Biafrans are doing to themselves. The growth of Biafra land today is done by individuals. The wealth that is in the hand of Biafra, the economy that is in the hand of Biafra people is developed by them from hand to hand. The one boy system is still functioning. You don't come and pick two people who are not settled, and now you begin to compare it to thousands of people that have been settled every year. Every year, Biafrans are settling thousands